Hi, welcome to Naptime Nutrition. This is Yaffi Lvova, registered dietitian nutritionist with Baby Bloom Nutrition. And as I said, this is Naptime Nutrition. I'm out at a friend's house because I'm trying to have a life today. Self-care, right? So today we're talking about fat. And fat was really vilified in the 80s. And fat was replaced. All over the place it was replaced in recipes. And it was replaced with sugar and chemicals, which, as we know, is always a good thing, right? No, replacing with sugar and chemicals was supposed to help with the taste and the mouthfeel. And what it really did was, well, not a whole lot. It took the fat out of our diet, but at the same time, heart disease didn't go down at all. We don't have a decreased incidence of heart disease when fat is taken out of the diet en masse like that. So we really just put a bunch of chemicals in our diet. And now fat is almost like a food trend now. It's a food fad. And that's a good thing because fat is really necessary in the diet. So I'm going to talk about fat and why we need it. So first, fat does not make you fat. Just like I did Naptime Nutrition on cholesterol, cholesterol in the diet does not lead to high dietary cholesterol. And you should go back and watch that because these are very related topics. So fat is needed for energy, cell growth, brain development, hormone production, hormone regulation, absorption of certain nutrients, namely vitamins A, D, E, and K. It's necessary for satiety, that pleasurable feeling you get when you're full. It tells your brain that you're full. Body warmth. If we don't have enough fat, we are really at increased risk for being very cold, especially here in Arizona. Haha. It's also important for nerve conduction and nerve protection. There's the myelin sheath that's around your nerves, and that's made of fat. So there are four main types of fat: saturated fat, trans fat, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated fats. And so saturated fat and trans fat are going to be solid at room temperature in general, and mono and polyunsaturated fats are going to be like olive oil. And, you know, like I said that those are going to be hard at room temperature. Sometimes it depends on the weather. For instance, if you have coconut oil sitting on your counter during the winter, it's going to be hard, and during the summer, it's going to be liquid. So that's not a perfect science. But your mono and your poly are both unsaturated fats, which means that they're less inflammatory, and I'm going to get more into that. It was thought previously that saturated fat contributes to cholesterol, but that's not really the direct link. Again, watch the Naptime Nutrition on cholesterol for more information on that. Trans fat is generally a fat that's found through laboratory changes. It's not found in nature, but in actuality, there is some amount of trans fat that's actually found in breast milk, and that's naturally occurring. It's totally healthy. I just think it's fun to mention that because trans fat gets a really bad rap. Mostly it deserves it, but there are some places where it is actually naturally occurring, and there's your trivia for the day. So omega-3s and omega-6s, you've probably heard of those. These are essential fatty acids. Sometimes it's lumped in with omega-9. That is not an essential fatty acid. What it means when we hear essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, it means that the body needs them but can't produce them themselves. The body cannot produce those itself. So the omega indicates the point on the fatty acid chain where there's a break that's not saturated. So omega-3 means on the third carbon there's a break, and omega-6 means on the sixth carbon. When we get into omega-9, it is necessary, but your body can produce it. Therefore, it is not necessary to have it in the diet or supplement-wise. So omega-3 is really very important, and this is the one that we really focus on. And I'll tell you why. Omega-3 can't be produced in the body. That's why I said it's an essential amino acid, and it's not that common in our diet. You'll find it in fatty fishes and also in algae, but to a lesser extent. So if you're following a vegetarian or vegan diet, you can buy an algae supplement that will have omega-3 for you, but it's not nearly as potent as the fish oil products. We need them for, so the components of omega-3 essential fatty acid are DHA and EPA and ALA, which becomes DHA and EPA. And I could rattle off these names for you, but I haven't had a lot of sleep and I'm just going to stumble over them. Anyway, omega-3 essential fatty acids with the DHA, EPA, and ALA, they lower triglycerides, which is fat in the blood. They lower inflammation. So if you have rheumatoid arthritis or other inflammatory diseases, it's going to help with that by lowering the incidence of inflammation in your body. It also helps with mood regulation. So it's super important during and after pregnancy to help with mood regulation. And visual and neurological development in infants, asthma, ADHD, and also it helps with memory. So during when someone is suffering from Alzheimer's or other dementia, then having a specific omega-3 DHA EPA supplement can definitely help with that. So omega-6s, also necessary, also essential, meaning we can't produce them in the body. Jessica just joined. It's funny, I'm at her place. Hi. So you'll find them in seeds, nuts, and oils, which is a good thing, but you're also going to find those in fast food places and processed foods. And so it's good for you to have. You do need it, but it's everywhere in our diet. So that's why the focus is so much on omega-3s. The key is balance. You want to have more focus on omega-3s because we need to establish a balance between your omega-3 and omega-6 intake. Omega-9s, as I said, we can make them. You do not need to supplement omega-9s. So the issue with fat, there's inflammatory fat and there's anti-inflammatory fat. So inflammation, as I've discussed before, is linked to a lot of different disease states. It's linked to rheumatoid arthritis, other types of arthritis as well, and gastrointestinal issues. It's really linked to a lot. So you want to make sure that when you're having your fat sources that they come from high quality. So the issue with dairy, it's best if your dairy is organic because it's going to have the same amount of fat grams as the non-organic, but it's going to be less inflammatory, which means overall it's going to be better for you. Daniel's standing up. I gotta share. It's cute. Milestones at work. And your meat also. The way that